Property management might be the most thankless job in real estate. You're the person everyone calls at 2 a.m. on a pipe burst, the one who has to hunt down late rent payments, and the first person to get blamed when things go wrong. And after all that, you could still end up getting sued even when you did everything right. Last month, one of my clients spent $15,000 defending themselves against a discrimination claim, all because they didn't document why they chose one qualified tenant over another. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself while managing property, including the 3 legal documents that every property manager needs. My name is Bishoy Habib, and I'm the realest real estate attorney you know. Over the past 12 years, I've closed over 1,000 transactions totaling $12 billion. I've seen every property management disaster you can imagine, and today, I'm going to show you how to avoid them all. Let's start with the absolute basics: legal requirements, because this is where most people get themselves into trouble before they even start. First, you need to know if you need a license. In most states, if you're managing property for someone else, you need a real estate or broker's license or a property management license. But here's the catch: even if you're managing your own property, some states still require licensing if you have more than a certain number of units. So check your state's real estate commission website or contact them directly to verify those requirements. Insurance is non-negotiable. You need general liability insurance, property insurance, and professional liability insurance for yourself if you're managing for others. But here's what most people miss: you need to verify that all your vendors have proper insurance too. Why? Because if your handyman falls off a ladder while changing a light bulb, guess who's getting sued? You are. I had a client face a $250,000 lawsuit because their maintenance guy, who was here illegally, did not have insurance. Trust accounts are another major area where property managers get into trouble. If you're holding other people's money, security deposit, rent payments, maintenance reserves, that money needs to be in a separate trust account, not your operating account, not your personal account, a separate dedicated trust account. And you need impeccable records of every penny that goes in and out. The fastest way to lose your license or face criminal charges is mishandling trust funds that belong to other people. By the way, if you like this content, you should check out my school community, which is 100% free to join. It has tons of educational videos, contract templates, checklists, and live Q&A sessions with me. I've even included a property management agreement in there for you. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below. Now, let's talk about tenant relations, because this is where most lawsuits start. Your application process needs to be consistent and documented. Every applicant needs to go through the exact same screening process. Why? Because inconsistent screening is begging for a fair housing violation. Create written screening criteria and stick to them. Document why you accept or reject the application. Now, let me be very clear about what you can never say to prospective tenants, because these statements can cost you 6 figures in fines. Of course, you know you can't say, "We don't rent to families or children," or "This is not a good neighborhood for someone like you." But there are so many other seemingly innocent statements that can get you in trouble. Don't say, "This is a quiet building, so it's better for adults." That's family status discrimination. Don't say, "The building is perfect for young professionals." That's age discrimination. Never tell someone, "You might feel more comfortable in a different neighborhood," or "There aren't many people like you living here." That's racial steering. Don't say that. Don't say, "We prefer working with people," because that's discrimination against people based on disability or public assistance. Even something as simple as saying, "This unit is perfect for someone who can climb stairs," can technically be disability discrimination. Instead, just stick to stating the facts. "This unit is on the 3rd floor, no elevator." Do I think some of these rules are absolutely outrageous? Without a doubt. We are definitely living in 2025 America. Can you still get in trouble by screwing them up? Yes, you can. So be careful, play by the rules, because you don't want that liability. Now, that client I mentioned at the beginning of the video, here's what happened. She told an applicant, "This building is mostly single professionals, so you'd fit right in." Seems harmless enough, right? Wrong. She got hit with a fair housing complaint because the statement implies discrimination against families and married couples. It cost her $15,000, as I mentioned. I do think it's insane. I'm just telling you what the rules are and how to protect yourself. It makes you want to interview tenants with duct tape over your mouth, is honestly how I feel. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's also what you write in your ads. Don't advertise "perfect for young couples" or "ideal for empty nesters." Stick to describing the property, not who you think should live there. The only exception is senior housing that legally qualifies for age restrictions, and even then, you still need to be careful how you phrase it. Communication protocols are crucial. Every maintenance request, complaint, or incident needs to be documented. Create a system where tenants can submit requests in writing and maintain records of when and how you've responded. Think about this. For every 10 maintenance requests you handle perfectly, it's the one undocumented request that comes back to haunt you in in court 2 years later. Financial management is where most small property managers fail. You need separate accounting for operating expenses, security deposits, and owner funds. As we talked about earlier, the trust accounting is extremely important, so you need to set up a system with rent collection, with clear late payment policies, and most importantly, keep detailed records of all income and expenses. I've seen property managers lose everything because they couldn't account for security deposits when the state auditor came knocking down the door. Risk management is not just about having insurance, it's about preventing problems before they happen. Regular property inspections, preventative maintenance, and safety protocols are essential. Document everything with photos and written reports. When something goes wrong, and something will definitely go wrong, you need to be able to prove you took reasonable steps to prevent it. Remember, property management, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Compliance is a moving target because laws change constantly. Fair housing laws require you treat all tenants and applicants equally. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA requirements, might apply to your common areas. Environmental regulations could affect how you handle everything from pest control to paint disposal. And local ordinances might restrict everything from occupancy limits to parking rules. The tricky part, you're expected to know and follow them even as they change. Now let's talk about whether you should manage property yourself or hire a management company. If you're managing yourself, you need to be ready for a lot of responsibility. You'll need to learn and stay current on all applicable laws and regulations. You'll need to create systems for everything from maintenance requests to rent collection. You'll be keeping records of everything and handling all tenant relations professionally, even when tenants aren't professional themselves. And that's a tricky thing to do sometimes. If you're thinking about hiring a management company instead, you've got a different set of challenges. You'll need to verify their licensing and insurance, and I mean really verify it, not just take their word for it. When you check their references, don't just call one and call it a day. Dig in, review their systems and procedures. Make sure you understand what services they actually provide, and more importantly, what they don't provide. And you absolutely need a solid management agreement that protects your interests. And speaking of contracts, there are 3 documents in property management that can make or break you. First, your property management agreement. This is the foundation of everything. It needs to spell out exactly what services are provided and excluded, how fees and compensation work, what authority the manager has, how the relationship can be terminated, what insurance required, and how indemnification works. When representing property managers, I make sure to give them plenty of leeway in the property management agreement for spending funds in the best interest of the property. I've included a sample property management agreement for free in my school community if you want to check it out. Your vendor contracts are next. Every single vendor you work with needs a proper agreement. It should lay out the scope of work, payment terms, insurance requirements, quality standards, response times, and how to terminate the relationship if things are not working out. Pro tip, make sure every single one of these has an indemnification clause so that you are not liable for something stupid that your vendor does. Finally, there's the lease agreement, your first line of defense. A good lease needs to be state law compliant, crystal clear with its terms, professionally reviewed, consistently enforced, and updated regularly. Best practice is have your lease reviewed annually. Laws change, court decisions affect lease provisions, and what worked last year might not work this year. One outdated lease provision could cost you thousands in court. Remember, property management isn't just about collecting rent and fixing toilets, it's about protecting yourself while serving as the buffer between frustrated tenants and demanding owners. Every decision you make needs to consider both the business and legal implications. Yes, it's a thankless job, but it doesn't have to be a legally dangerous one. If you found this video helpful, make sure to join my school community and like and subscribe for more real estate tips that could help your real estate business grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.